Get on in here. It is still freezing cold.
Very cold.
It is Wednesday, January the 22nd. Here's a few things that we're working on this morning. Heading to Norfolk County because OPP and the fire department currently on scene at 3 structure fires in Norfolk County.
City of Hamilton set to launch its vacant unit tax program. We'll tell you when.
And we'll introduce you to the newest member of the Baseball Hall of Fame who made a little bit of history yesterday. Garbage day at the Bolins. Did not enjoy rolling those out this morning.
You know, there's days like that when it's like, we could keep it in the garage for another week. I've done that before. It's like
just give the garbage people the passcode for the garage. Oh my goodness! Well,
no, just put out no garbage.
Oh, no garbage. Well, listen, you feel about the garbage people who have to be out there today.
Yes.
And
in a moving vehicle. With
yes. Exactly. And the guy's hanging off the back there, going down the. Yes. But I've seen your driveway. It's what that long?
Teeny.
You know,
Yes.
it's not a huge driveway.
You don't have you could just go push it out there from the garage.
Yes. Yeah. Well,
is it like a little bit of a slope where I just like start in the garage and just
start it to go, and it'll take itself down there.
Coming from a couple of folks who have longer driveways than me.
Okay. Come and bring my garbage out and put it to the end of the road. That'll make you a little bit chilly. And we are a little bit chilly this morning, aren't we?
Yes.
Oh, are we ever? Minus 19 is our temperature.
I saw minus 18 in the car.
Did you? I saw minus 20 in the car this morning coming in from where I come from. Out in the country, it's a little bit chillier. Minus 19 right now. We have a wind chill of about minus 26. So that's how cold it is. About the coldest morning we've had this season so far. We are going to climb a little bit better for the day today, though. We should hit minus 11. That'll beat yesterday's high by 1 degree. Yay, we're getting there. But the good news is, we will tend to moderate as we continue toward the weekend. The temperatures will start to rise a little bit. It's not going to be quite as cold, but we do have an extreme cold warning in effect once again today, and just about for all of southern and northern Ontario as well. So the extreme cold temperatures are here with us again today. We'll talk about it coming up. Quick look at traffic, 403 Waterdown Road. Not a lot to see right there. As usual, this time of the morning, doing okay. Just a few MTO traffic cameras, Nikola Tesla Boulevard. We've got nothing to see. Fairview Street. We're heading through to just some of the cameras from Burlington into Oakville. Here's Royal Windsor. Not a lot to see this morning. We have no problems right now. We'll keep you posted. Weather and traffic coming up. Right now, the news.
Yeah, well, we got some problems in Norfolk County. OPP are on scene of not one, but 3 separate suspicious structure fires that happened overnight. So that brings the total number of these suspicious fires in the area. It is now up to 12. The first one happened in an abandoned home south of Brantford near Waterford around 11:30 last night. Police were then called to a fire at a gas station on Norfolk County Highway 24 just after midnight. Then police were called to an abandoned barn on Brantford Road at Teeterville just before 2:30 this morning. So police say a man was seen running on Norfolk County Highway 24, described as white, approximately 30 years old, very thin, wearing a hoodie and a face covering. No injuries were reported. Anyone with information is asked to reach out to police. Now, Simone Gavros is on her way to Norfolk County. That is going to be her story this morning.
Niagara police have located a vehicle that was used in a jewelry store robbery in Grimsby. Last Saturday afternoon, 5 people ran into Harmony Jewelers in downtown Grimsby. They smashed the front entrance door to get in. Then they used sledgehammers to destroy several display cases. They took off with watches and other pieces of jewelry. The store was open at the time of the robbery, but no one was physically hurt. Now, about an hour after that robbery, this pickup truck, believed to be used by the suspects, was found abandoned in East Hamilton. Police are asking anyone who may have seen 6 or 7 people get out of this F-150 on Nash Road to contact them. They're also asking businesses in the area of Nugent Drive and Nash Road North in Hamilton to check surveillance cameras just before 4:30 on Saturday afternoon.
Charges have been laid after a Niagara Regional police officer was injured last weekend. The officer was one of several at a domestic violence call in a rural area in Fort Erie on Saturday afternoon. Now, police have not said how the officer was hurt, only that he was seriously injured and transferred to an out-of-region hospital. 45-year-old man from Fort Erie has now been charged with attempted murder, impaired driving, criminal negligence, and careless storage of a firearm. His name has not been released to protect the name of the initial victim of the domestic violence call.
Niagara police are trying to stop fraud involving funds that are transferred through cryptocurrency ATMs. They're posting warnings on the machines, letting people know about the potential risks of using them. Most of the crypto ATMs are in variety stores and malls. There were 60 reported incidents just in Niagara region last year alone. Victims transferred over $1.3 million using these cryptocurrency machines.
City of Hamilton has picked a new day to begin rolling out its new vacant unit tax. So notice letters about the program, they were supposed to be mailed to households in December, but it was pushed back due to delays from the Canada Post strike. The declaration period will now begin February 10th, with homeowners needing to submit occupancy details before the April 30th deadline. This initiative is meant to address the housing crisis in the city. Anyone who keeps a home vacant for more than 183 days will have to pay an extra 1% on their property taxes. This initiative, it mirrors similar programs in Toronto, Ottawa, and Vancouver.
Now, for those without a home, some of Hamilton's homeless shelters are at capacity during this cold alert. Good Shepherd Hamilton says its system is full, adding, "We just surveyed," this was yesterday, "our shelters, and all are at or above capacity." That included youth and women's services like Martha's House and Mary's Place, as well as the men's shelter, including the Old Catholic Cathedral Boys High School. A daytime drop-in at CHCH Cathedral on James Street North had some space yesterday. It's when the night falls that one client says he really needs to prepare.
I feel lucky that I've devised a system so that I can do it, and if I did not have this propane, I would have to spend I'd have to spend my time at the library or whatever, but there's probably a couple hours in between that I would probably freeze to death.
Now, CHCH Cathedral in Hamilton tells CHCH News it can hold up to 50 people inside. They had roughly 2/3 of their clients are unhoused. St. Joseph's Healthcare and other community partners have opened a new hub to support people struggling with mental health issues, addictions, and homelessness in Hamilton. It's named after a little boy whose murder was the catalyst for change in Hamilton. Zachary Antidormi was 2.5 years old in 1997 when he was killed by his neighbor. Soon after Zachary's death, the first collaboration between Hamilton Police and mental health workers started. Since then, support services have grown significantly.
When we're dealing with homelessness, harm reduction, mental illness, etc., it's not about arresting your way out of this. It's about finding a path, and it's about, in fact, the risk intervention and the prevention model.
That's Hamilton Police Chief Frank Bergen. He says the need for these services has grown, especially since the pandemic.
Sports Line time. Toronto Raptors back on home court last night, sporting their slick throwback Dino jerseys as they welcomed Orlando to town. And after falling behind by 20 in the first quarter, things turned pretty magical.
Shot doesn't go. Brown with a rebound. Grady with the throwdown.
Grady Dick with the highlight of the night. Massive throws down to kickstart a wonderful comeback with the injury-plagued Magic in town. The Raps, they had a well-balanced scoring machine with 5 players in double digits, including Dick, who had 17. RJ Barrett would finish with 19. Raps win their 3rd straight game on that beautiful-looking home court. 109-93 the final, their 11th win of the season, with 10 of them coming on that home floor. Back to the road, though. They're off to Atlanta tomorrow. As we mentioned yesterday, somebody finally said yes to the Blue Jays after falling short on so many free agents they had interest in this offseason. Anthony Santander, despite being 30, does bring a much-needed power surge, having smoked 44 moonshots last season for the rival Baltimore Orioles. Also gives them a switch hitter. They hope to rebound after a last-place finish last season.
Why Toronto for me? They have a pretty good team. they want to win. They want to get back to the playoffs, which is more important for me to make that move. Winning mentality. The city is great. The environment at the field and Rogers Center is amazing. And just got here, bring what I learned in Baltimore the last 2 years being in the playoff. Share that with my new brothers right here.
Looks pretty good in that Blue Jays blue. Santander expected to bat cleanup behind Vladdy Guerrero Jr. and will play in the outfield along with spend some time at DH. Spring training, under a month away with hopefully more to come from the Blue Jays brass. Actually, let's stay with baseball because one of the best players ever, Ichiro Suzuki, has become the first Japanese player ever to make it into the Hall of Fame as he led the 2025 Hall of Fame class with 99.7% of the vote. He was one vote away from being the second player to get voted in unanimously following Mariano Rivera in 2019. Whoever didn't vote for him needs their privileges taken away as he dominated. When he arrived from Japan at the age of 27, he spent 13 years with Seattle, 6 with Miami and the Yankees, and finished with a career batting average of .311, 25th all-time in hits with over 3,000, and played 86% of his games with 2,653. He was something to watch. CC Sabathia and Billy Wagner, son of the Blue Jays, Will Wagner, also going into the Hall. Hey, we're 2 weeks away from Forge FC hitting the pitch in Hamilton in CONCACAF Champions Cup action against Monterey, and they'll be helped out in the back end after landing 24-year-old defender Dan Nimick from the Halifax Wanderers. Nimick, who has no fear of coming forward, has an outstanding offensive touch, 15 goals, 6 assists over 54 appearances in all competitions with the Wanderers. The Happy Valley Goose Bay native has reportedly signed a 2-year deal with the Hammers. And let's finish at Anfield, one of the legendary pitches in all of soccer, where Canadian superstar Jonathan David kept his amazing season going for Lille. A man down, he would equalize the match at ones with his 18th goal of the season, and doing so against big clubs in Europe in Champions League action like Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid, Juventus, and now Liverpool. In Champions League action all season, this is his 8th tally overall.
12 minutes past 6 o'clock. It is Wednesday morning. We're halfway through the week, and we're just about to the end of this really cold air, and we'll talk about the forecast coming up. First of all, quick look at traffic. Nothing happening. 403 Waterdown Road still moving nicely. Just a few MTO traffic cameras bring in around the Horseshoe, QEW, Glendale, St. Catharines, all the way to the top of the Skyway Bridge. This is the Burlington Skyway Bridge on the Burlington side, doing fine. Burloak, nothing. Sheridan looks good. Dip into the 403 at Burnham Thorpe, all doing okay. Now, let's get to our temperature at the moment. This is about the coldest start we've had so far this season. Minus 19 is the temperature right now. The winds, west-southwest is 13, make it feel like minus 27. Now, for all the purists, I know you look at that and you say, wait a minute, that's wrong. It's Fahrenheit. Now, Fahrenheit, you always talk about above or below 0. It's Celsius is plus or minus, but I don't have the room to put 2 degrees below 0 Fahrenheit all the way along there, so I had to put a minus in front of it. So that's what it feels like. It feels like 2 degrees below 0 Fahrenheit. So for school today, sun clouds, we'll get some flurries later this afternoon, and a minus 11 degree high, a degree better than yesterday. We have a weak warm front that's going to go through. It's going to help our temperatures over the next number of days, but still stay below seasonal. So we're going to see some flurries on and off throughout the day. And today, Simcoe, Niagara Falls could get another couple of centimeters on top of everything they got yesterday. But temperatures minus 9, minus 11 to minus 13, so a little bit better. Tonight, temperature not quite as cold, minus 10 to minus 12 degrees. Last night's forecast was for minus 20, so that is a little bit better. We'll get some flurries. And then tomorrow, we're looking for a bit of sun, but temperatures minus 4, 5, and 6. Now, Hamilton could get a couple of centimeters of snow. Niagara Falls, Simcoe, Cayuga could get 4 to 5 centimeters of snow for the day tomorrow. So, 22nd of January, out the door. It is clear, it is cold. Minus 19, wind chill now, minus 27. Long range coming up. Annette, Tim.
Okay. Minus 27. Good thing you have a furry sweater on today.
It is like a kitten wearing a kitten.
I reached and I'm like, whoop, uh-oh.
HR.
Can't touch. Coming up after the break, we'll check in with Emily, see what's going on in Chit Chat on this Wednesday. Also in business news, StatsCan. They have released the latest inflation figures. That and other biz in 2. Hey, Em.
Hi.
What's
Hi.
up?
Hi.
We're like working some grays and whites and blacks.
Yes.
Kind of fall.
Just warm.
I'm freezing. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah.
Okay, TV viewership for President Trump's second inauguration fell short compared to his first ceremony.
Yeah, but will he say how big it is? Remember, that was kind of
that was
like
that was the start of it all.
Yeah.
Remember, like
Yeah.
last time because it was outdoors last time and it was indoors this time.
Yeah.
So
We'll
it begins.
see.
So it begins.
Yeah. This year's Oscar nominations are finally going to be announced.
Is that today?
And yeah.
Oh,
no.
it is?
No.
Oh.
No. It's tomorrow.
Oh, tomorrow.
Yeah. I was like, what day is it today? Today, Thursday or Friday? It's Wednesday. That's where I am this week. And later this morning, we will reveal Hollywood's worst as the nominations for the Razzies were announced yesterday.
Okay, we'll see you at that couch in a little bit. So let's take a look at some business numbers and see how our Canadian dollar is doing, because that's going to be a real focus over the next while. It is up 16 basis points to 69.7 cents US. Gold up over 12 bucks, 27.71.30. Crude oil up 41 cents, 76.24 a barrel. Off to Europe we go. Hey, Europe, markets are up for you across the board in London, Frankfurt, and Paris.
In Asia, the markets were up in Tokyo today, but down in Hong Kong and Shanghai. Strength in financial and tech stocks helped Canada's main stock index gain nearly 0.5% yesterday, as the TSX was up 110 points. Look at the Dow, up more than 500 points, and the Nasdaq closed 126 points higher.
Okay, coming up on 6:19 on your Wednesday morning. Good morning, glad you're here. Let's get into some business news, as we always do at this time. And let's start with Canada's inflation rate, because it ticked lower in the month of December. It fell to 1.8%, and this is largely due to the temporary federal tax break. StatsCan says the deceleration can be largely attributed to restaurant food purchases and alcohol bought at stores. The federal government, as you remember, introduced the temporary pause in mid-December on taxes for those items, as well as other items ranging from tobacco and cannabis products to clothing and some toys. StatsCan says without the tax break, the annual inflation rate would have risen to 2.3% for the month.
WestJet is adding more flights this summer, 10% more flights than last summer. The boost is partly because of 9 planes that WestJet added to its fleet that had been leased by the now discontinued ultra-low-cost carrier Lynx Air. WestJet is also launching 11 new routes starting in May. Figures from the aviation data firm Cirium show that Air Canada, Porter, and Air Transat are all set to boost their year-over-year flight volumes between 1% and 5% this summer. Flair Airlines is set to scale back their flights just a little bit.
Netflix prices going up. They're raising prices on their subscriptions in both Canada and the U.S. So the standard plan with ads, it's going to increase by $2 Canadian to $7.99 a month. The ad-free standard plan, that's going to cost $18.99, while the premium tier jumps to $23.99. So this comes as Netflix reports its biggest ever subscribers growth, 19 million new signups in the first quarter of 2024, bringing its total to 302 million worldwide. Revenue also hit a record $10 billion US, which is up 16% year over year. I can't remember. Do you guys have Netflix?
We have it every once in a while when they have the free things.
Oh, the free thing?
Then we'll do it and we'll binge a whole bunch of stuff and then.
Would you ever do it with the commercials? Like, would you pay the cheap one for commercials?
No.
Because that's the whole reason you do the
Yeah,
subscribers service, isn't it? Without commercials? Anywho.
Okay, we're taking a commercial break right now, actually, because we need them. Brian's going to be back with your traffic and your 7-day forecast.
6:24 already. It's the 22nd morning of January. Looking at our MTO traffic cameras, QEW Martindale, nothing to see there. Pretty light volume generally. Nikola Tesla Boulevard still doing fine toward the Skyway. Fairview starting to slow down coming off the Skyway Bridge through Burlington. We'll flip ahead to Royal Windsor Drive. Not a lot to see. That's pretty much the way it is all the way around the Horseshoe this morning. Oh, look at this temperature. Temperature right now minus 19. The skies are clear. It's light kicking off the blanket, and we didn't need to do that last night because it was cold enough anyhow. So the winds are west-southwest at 13. That makes it feel like minus 27. So it is a bitterly cold start to our morning. Seasonal temperatures now minus 2 for the daytime high, minus 10 for the overnight low. We haven't seen those numbers in a long time. Record for today, low minus 26.7. in 1976. So we're still above that, and we're going to get a little bit of sunshine for the day today, but some flurries this afternoon. For school today, minus 18 for the first bell, and then some flurries possible, and minus 11 later on. So the high for the day, yep, that's it, minus 11. It will feel like minus 21 when you factor in the winds. Tonight, minus 12. Tomorrow, minus 6. Wind chill of minus 18. We'll get some flurries, maybe a couple of centimeters of snow, more for Niagara. Minus 5 on Friday gets better, minus 4 for Saturday and Sunday, minus 3, and then minus 1 by Tuesday. That's your forecast. Annette, Tim.
Okay, I'll do the intro here, and I'll let President of Team Squirrel do the rest of this.
For the record, I love squirrels.
That's why you're the president of Team Squirrel. Some might consider them pests, my dad. But squirrels deserve a day of recognition, it says here.
And it's Squirrel Appreciation Day. There are more than 200 species of them around the world. They fall into 3 different types. There are ground squirrels, tree squirrels, flying squirrels. And the flying ones actually glide by spreading their little arms and legs out to give the impression of flying. To celebrate Squirrel Appreciation Day, you can set up a feeder, or they just take whatever they want anyways, or watch them scurrying around in the cold. I just love watching them in the backyard because, like, the way they jump from tree to tree, I'm so impressed at that.
Yeah, I think there's some dislike in our neck of the woods, maybe because they get into the bird feeders and they want to be watching the birds,
and I mean,
not
they
the squirrels
have destroyed.
in the bird feeders.
I love tulips in the garden, and I can't have any because the squirrels eat them all. But I'm
still on board.
I'm okay with that. Okay, they're cute.
They're cute. All right, there you go.
Email me.
All right, another cold one for you. Well, we're going to talk about the cold down south too, because they're getting it as well.
Can you imagine going down to Florida thinking, oh, it's going to be warm.
It's going to be
warm.
blizzard down there.
Yeah.
We don't have a blizzard. We got the cold weather. I'll see you in a couple minutes.